Hey, everybody, and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we try to find more value in the markets when there's fear and to be cautious when there's greed. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Bitcoin dominance to see how have things changed with it and what is going on with Bitcoin price. Are there any signs that we might be able to see or pick up on to help us have an idea of maybe where Bitcoin price is going overall? So let me zoom out here and show you Bitcoin dominance. And what does Bitcoin dominance mean, first of all? Well, it is how much Bitcoin dominates the overall cryptocurrency market cap. So back here, Bitcoin made up most of crypto as more altcoins came out, like Ethereum, Cardano, Ripple, all those others. Bitcoin, or at least how much people owned with Bitcoin, became a lower percentage. So when we get alt season, when the altcoins people buy go 10, 50, 100x from their price, this tends to happen when we get a drop in Bitcoin dominance. Now, some of that can happen in here. You have to pick the right altcoins. Overall, though, just the comparison between Bitcoin and altcoin season, we're going to be taking a look, seeing if we can find any patterns from before to help us have an idea of what might be coming next. Now, something that I must warn you guys about when it comes to watching videos on YouTube about cryptocurrency, I see way too many channels get into the prediction game. And they say because something's done this before, it has to do this again this time around. When you make predictions, you look like a fool. So, what I encourage you guys to do is to increase your time in the market, check the prices of the Bitcoins you like, write down a list of 3 to 5 Bitcoins, write down a list of 3 to 5 altcoins you like, check the price for a few minutes every couple of weeks. And if it's at a great area, buy it. You can check the Bitcoin dominance to see what that's doing, see if maybe altcoins are at a good deal or if maybe they're overvalued. So maybe you can find a good range of when to sell. So I am very zoomed out here. The last signal we got on Bitcoin dominance was a buy signal, and it is played out here. Again, we're not trading Bitcoin dominance. This is just showing us that from the amount of money that is in altcoins has been flowing into Bitcoin. And we had this trend line, which again, I like to say trend lines are only good for as long as they're good for. We broke under and through it. Are we possibly getting a sell signal coming up? I just want to show you a little bit of a comparison back here. Now, again, let's zoom out. Bitcoin dominance was up here. We made this peak here. We're drawing a line down there. I'm theorizing that maybe when we hit that, that might be near the end before we have the alt season blow off. Not to say that you can't get great deals before it does that, if it is to do it again. So again, we're just making comparisons. So last Bitcoin bull run. Let's go to this. Most of the alts ran right here. Some of them did get up a little bit higher here. Okay, but most people, if they were smart, were selling back here. So the top here was April of 21. Let's go to Bitcoin dominance. Where was April of 21? Let's zoom up. Where was April of 21 for Bitcoin dominance? It is right here. So you can see that we went under this line, which became resistance, got above it, so then it became support. We bounced off that support. Once we broke through it, that was April 21. That's when we had that first mega blow off top. Right here. Do you guys see that? April 21. When was the next time? November of 21. Where is November of 21? Right here. So really, we just hung around down here for a bit, and that was it. And we've been slowly selling off ever since November of 22. This was the very bottom of Bitcoin when all the trouble with Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, The whole FTX sell-off when Bitcoin was staying around the $21,000 range, and then it went down into the 15,000. After that, since Bitcoin has been going up for a year in overall price, and I'll show you this on the chart. This is over here. I don't like it on monthly. Here we go. This is November 22, sorry. November 22, we've been going up for a year, and so has Bitcoin dominance. Now, again, as you guys have seen before, when the altcoins are having their blow off top, they're multiplying, they're getting higher in value in here, and then they really run up. It happens fast when you have your altcoins. A lot of the gains that you will get will be in this area. Okay, and let's go to the alt season chart. As we go to the alt season, you guys remember, what did that say? April of 21? Look at this, May of 21, April 21. So altcoins can run for a little bit more after Bitcoin, and that happened in 2017 too. At the end of 2017 is when Bitcoin topped. The top of the altcoin market was early January. Believe it or not, it's up here. It's January 7th. I'll never forget, because January 8th, around that's when everything started dumping. That's when altcoins flow back into Bitcoin. Let's see what was going on in September of 2020. If we go back to Bitcoin dominance, September 2020. Funny enough, we're at the support line. So September 2020, you can see we went down. So Bitcoin, the amount of money into Bitcoin was flowing into altcoins. And that's been happening a little bit right now. The amount of money into Bitcoin, it's broken down and it's been flowing into altcoins. You might be seeing that a lot of people are making a lot of crazy money on these meme coins. Okay, how long is that going to continue for? I don't know. It's something that can reflect this. Now, if we go from on the alt season index from the yearly to just alt season, where it's zoomed in more, you can see that we are technically in alt season on a smaller time frame. Not the macro time frame, a smaller time frame. We are in alt season. On the more macro time frame, this is what it looks like. So not as much. It isn't this. It isn't this where everyone is like, holy crap, my $1,000 turned into $50,000. Okay, so there is money to be made in more of the, I'll say, shadier crypto exchanges, stuff like MEXC, even Binance. I don't believe in Binance. That's why I only like talking about altcoins available on Coinbase and Robinhood, because they are safer plays. When they run, yeah, you might only have a month or two to take your profits. Maybe it goes in a cycle, a month or two up, kind of levels out, a month up, levels out, a week up. Get out when it's in here, because that's usually where the top of those gains are. But overall, alt season, I am expecting this to bottom out around here a little bit. And for the Bitcoin dominance, for money to flow back into Bitcoin. I am expecting that. Here we're on the weekly. What did we most recently get? We got a sell signal on this long-legged doji. Now this is a bullish doji. It's green. These dojis, the thing with dojis is price can go extreme in one way or the other. And a doji, that's right here, guys, where you have this little guy right here, but the wicks are big on both ends. Okay, back here again too. I believe I got that right. We'll have to do a whole video on wicks. If I got that wrong, I apologize. Again, we're just taking, what I'm trying to show you guys, just basic technical analysis, something anyone can do, so you don't have to be an expert at it. And here's another thing. Technical analysis by itself, I've read research papers on technical analysis. Yes, I have wasted time reading economic research papers. Here's the thing with technical analysis. Some people say it's useless. Some people love it. The truth of it is, TA, technical analysis, is another tool in your toolbox to use with other forms of, to use with other tools, other ways of looking at the market. It is not the only way to look at a market. So I'm just showing you basic TA. I think that is the smartest way to go. You can have different indicators, give yourself an edge in the market when the price is low or high, but TA, it's not the only tool to use, and it is also not a completely useless tool. You can use it to your advantage to find more value in the markets. I digress. So you saw in the alt season chart that we had our first pump up here, August 20th. Let's take a look. Where was Bitcoin on August 20th? So this is funny. I've drawn this fib before from the previous high in Bitcoin, late 2017, to the low. August 20th, this was when we were getting ready to finally break the all-time high and go up. So if we go back to Bitcoin dominance, around that August 20th, when it came down to the support line here, and again, I know I've probably not drawn this perfect. I could have moved the line lower. Okay, let's do that actually. Let's put it to the bottom of the wick. Does that change anything? A little bit, I guess. That was your last chance to get in. And it touched the trend line. December 20th, where was price then? December 20th is right here. Okay. We got this little mini correction, January 21. Is that reflected in any way, shape, or form? Yeah, I guess. I guess a little bit. But really, things ran hard here for a few months. So I have wondered, and you'll see the comparison I made here. We had this resistance that then became support. I have wondered to myself if this resistance that we've made has now become support. And let me move this trend line up. Things don't have to be perfect, but it's close enough that when we touch this line, that maybe we are getting very close to the end. And you saw back here, Bitcoin dominance, it chopped around. Let's see, from the time it broke the trend line, that's January of 2020, to the time it got under April of 21. So we had about 15-ish months in there. So the time we broke the trend line here, January of 24, do we have until April of 25? So that's why I put this red line here, because I am wondering if by that time that maybe we're going to come down here. This is it. Now this line, I can get rid of this actually. Or you know what? Let me move this line over. I want to move this line towards where the halving is going to be, right there. And I've been using white for the halving. So that's the halving. Okay. I am wondering if, like back here, we broke under, if we're going to slowly chop down, hit this support line, go up, back down, and that's going to be, and that's what's going to play out. I have no idea, guys. By the way, I'm just showing you that this is what happened last time. Okay. We came under this line where it became resistance, went above it. We had this trend going up here. When we broke under, again, we had about 15 months. We tested that line, which is then support. Okay, you saw where that was on the Bitcoin price chart. We were getting ready to create new all-time highs. Went up December 2020 and then touched this macro trend line, and that was the very last moment to get in, and boom, that's where we ran. And sure, some alts did get a little higher into, I want to say September 21, November 21, sorry, into November of 21. Okay. I personally, I did not hold anything in here. I sold a lot of things back in here. So just something to look for. Again, I have no idea what Bitcoin dominance is going to do. If it's going to play out kind of similar, or if it continues to, that will be very curious to me. This is how I view the Bitcoin dominance chart and see some possible patterns emerging. And I want you all to know, this is just what I notice. If you notice something different with the Bitcoin dominance chart that's telling you something different, you're getting a different view from it, I want to hear what your opinion is. Okay, this is a community that I want to grow, this crypto channel. to share ideas and for all those ideas to be treated with respect, because I do not claim to have all the answers. But again, I try to caution myself to feeling like things have to play out a certain way because it did something before. So yes, this is nice. This is cute. Is it doing something the same? Well, so far, so far, you guys can see this. Like we had this trend up, we had this trend up, and this was here's one difference. Okay, our mid-cycle top last time was here. If the ETF was the mid-cycle top, then that was when we were breaking through this trend line. But you can see that mid-cycle top. Look what happened here. We were away from it. Now, what if I move this trend line down and here, I'm going to draw another one. What if we said, okay, that's it. And you can see some similarities to how we broke under, but we had some space over here in the mid-cycle top. So at least the top would look the same, but then what about the rest? We wouldn't be testing off of it. So that's where I do see some difference. Okay, I want to be honest about what the difference is. But overall, I hope you guys can see the macro picture that I'm seeing, and that maybe, okay, mid-cycle top as we break under a trend line, maybe things aren't too different. And if that is the case, who knows? Maybe we have about a year to accumulate as whatever's going to happen in here happens. And then once we touch this support, maybe that's near the end, like over here. Remember, September of 2020, that was the last part, the last sort of correction phase we had. It was minor until we blasted off. You had the beginning in here. That was the end. Everything else took place in here, in this accumulation phase. Everything in here. So from September 20 to January 20, guys, that's 9 months. Do we have 9 months? Or 8 months as of now? Until September? Here? Until we touch the line? Are we going to touch the line here? Go up? Yeah, actually, let's draw an arrow there. Why not? Why not? That way we can see where things are at. Where is my arrow? I'm sorry. I know I had arrows over here somewhere. There we go. Arrow. There's better arrows. No, here we go. Arrow. We're going to draw September. September. Is it going to touch the trend line right here? That's what I'm going to watch for. Doesn't mean it has to play out the same as it has before. But if it does, that'll be interesting to see. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on Bitcoin dominance. Some people are talking about how it has to touch this macro trend line up here. It doesn't have to do anything. Okay. It might do something completely different than last time. Who the hell knows? Okay. But I am curious to see how Bitcoin dominance is going to play out similarly to before and different. And maybe this is giving us some indicator of how much time we have until alt season. Phase 1, your alts go up 5, 10x. Phase 2, they go up another 2, 3x. Okay. This is how some people sell in here and they wish they would have held. I do have to let you guys know that, because here were our true double tops. Okay, on the 4-year chart, some people sold in here, but you can't hold till up here and then sell. And you know what? For me, if I'm buying alts in here and they run 20x here, I'm fine selling, because if we have a scary correction, I don't know that it's going back up. Is it worth holding on to for another 2x if what you've put in has already gone 10, 20x? Not to me personally. If I turn $10,000 into $500,000, do I need $1 million? Am I waiting and hoping this doesn't happen, or that this does happen and hoping it doesn't go down? Me personally, no. I'm fine with the 500K. I can roll that over into stocks and do more damage with it that way. I can get a much easier 2x than in crypto. Now with crypto, I'm not looking for 2x. I'm looking for 5, 10, 20x. It's more speculative. Again, this is money. This is another rule when it comes to crypto. For me, crypto should not take up more than 10 to 20% max of my investment portfolio. Now, yes, as I make the big gains, it might take up way more than my stock portfolio. That's fine in that time. But when I sell and I'm rolling it over into stocks, that's what I'm doing. I feel much safer going for a 2x in stocks than I do in crypto. In crypto, I'm just saying, when we are here, you're selling. When we are here, you're selling. Okay, yes, if you held on the Bitcoin here, let's say you bought it at 10K and you held all this way, cool. You've made a 4x. But if you bought Bitcoin at 10K, you could have sold up here, doubled your money, bought back down here, and then it sold up here. So that's why I'm saying when we do get near these macro highs, it's okay to sell, in my opinion. But let me close this out, guys. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You got to do what's best for you. I am trying to show you, though, that when we get these times of great fear and fear is coming back into the crypto market, that those tend to offer more good opportunities to buy. And when there's a ton of greed, which let's go to the crypto fear and greed index, mid-cycle top, very top. When there's a ton of greed, December 2020, let's look at that. Bitcoin, December 2020. You guys remember where that was? Down here. When there's a ton of greed, that's the time where you start thinking about selling. Now, yes, it went up way higher. Look at that. Look at that. It kept staying up there. Man, that's crazy. This little correction here, this January 22nd of 21, what was that? This is back here. There's that little correction. People were worried that was it. And then boom, went back up. So near the top, it does get tricky. There's no playbook to say what exactly is going to happen. There is one indicator, though. Sorry, I know I was closing things out. But let me show you something. There is this one indicator I like. It's called the Pi Cycle Bitcoin High Low. Look at this. When we hit the top, Pi Cycle High. Now, altcoins, you don't have much time left to sell them all. Pi Cycle Low, boom, it's at the bottom. Look at this, Pi Cycle High. You can see it there behind all the numbers. When it's Pi Cycle High, you should be selling. Pi Cycle Low, yeah, we went a little lower. Whatever. Not right now. Who cares if we bought it at 21,000 versus 15,000 when right now we're at 40,000. So just something to look at, something to consider. The Pi Cycle High, even more than fear and greed, can give you a great indication of where things are at. So hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Hope everybody is doing well, making smart investment decisions. We're curling down a little bit, and we'll see. If we get under the 50 on the RSI, might be some great opportunities to buy should we get another 4-year cycle mega bull run. That's all I got for today. Take care, everyone. Be well.